I guess this is a good time as any to do a suspension review. So I've got like right at 1,000 miles on this Andreani kit, and I paid what, $640 within, like, to have it installed by the guy who's the U.S. distributor for Andreani. His name's, what was his name? He works, his company's called FBI Racing. I'll see if I can remember his name. I'll put it up in the, as an annotation. But his, he did the work, put him in for me. I think it's pretty much a drop-in kit, but I wanted to have the peace of mind of having somebody else do it, who's a like suspension person, because I feel like I would mess that up. You can jump that on a supermoto. That's called gravity cavity. Over stock, this suspension is far and away, like, it's night and day difference. Stock suspension for me, I weigh like 215 pounds, which is about 40 pounds heavier than what this bike wants you to weigh. And the suspension on it made it so it was almost unrideable. Like, even in just regular traffic, it would, yeah, get it, dude. But the Andreani kit, and I have a ZX6R rear shock. The Andreani kit, you can get it with an Öhlins rear shock, and I can't speak to that, but with how much it costs, it should be an eligible upgrade from the manufacturer. Like, you should be able to say, okay, I'm buying my whatever year FZ-09, price range is somewhere around, price is somewhere between, what, 7 and 8 grand, and I want to add the $1,300 Öhlins shock and Andreani drop-ins as a kit, because everybody should do it. Anybody who has one of these bikes should do it. I can't speak enough about it. It made this bike go from being riding a pogo stick to riding something that is remarkably planted. I can't say, the body position's a little strange on this bike. It's like in between a sport bike and a standard or a sport tourer. And I have lower bars on it, so it makes it so my position's a little further over my front end. So ZX6R rear shock is for my weight. I got 0.93 springs, kilogram springs in the front of this, which may be actually a little too stiff, but I like the way it feels, especially with, I was buying it without gear, so it's like, it makes sense to have it set up a little stiff for me. But it tracks amazing, it feels really good. I went from, the other thing I can tell you is, I got a Stoltec Moto revalve reshim spring kit, and had that in this first, and that's what I replaced with this Andreani kit. And it's I must have got a dud. I don't know what, maybe the installation was wrong. I don't know what happened with my Stoltec kit, but it was messed up from the get-go. It was messed up from when I purchased it. And installed in the front end of my bike, if I hit a bump, like if I whacked the throttle real hard, the front end would like slam into the top of the fork tubes. And it made this really god-awful metallic thunk in the front end. And it always felt like I was doing some kind of damage to my bike. And it honestly made it, was a reason I didn't ride this bike very much. It honestly made this bike, made me scared to ride it, because I thought I was going to either damage the forks and have to buy new forks, or I was going to have to, or I would damage myself by the forks falling apart or exploding, or, you know, it'd be just bad news. So I'm not going to do I'm not going to say a yay or nay on the Stoltec kit. It would be what your budget can afford, and other than that, I don't know. Like, I had a bad experience, but that there's 100 other, to my one bad experience, there's 100 other happy people who have that kit that will say that it's the best thing money can buy for that bike, excluding one of these drop-in cartridge kits. The Andreani kit is full. It's a rebound on the right, compression on the left, preload on both, full active forks on both sides, so it's no, one of them's not a slave and is just a spring on a stick. If you want to run a ZX6 shock, get on one of the FZ forums and look up which one is proper for your weight, because they all have different, like the 6R versus the 6RR versus the 636 and the ZX10, they all have different spring rates, so it's something that needs to be considered when going into purchase your kit, your shock. So if I have to give it a number, the Andreani kit's going to give you a, I don't know, 4 out of 5, because there's a better option, and the Öhlins kit is a better option. Probably 4.5 out of 5, because I can't imagine the Öhlins kit does much different, anything different other than give you some stickers that say you have Öhlins shit in the front of your bike. And it gives you some bling, because you can see the front end's different. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. If you can afford it and you have an FZ-09, do it.